we're going to be talking about IDX on your lead site. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and type them into the question box there, and Chris M will try to handle them while I'm talking, and I'll try to handle them when Chris M is talking. So great. So I have mammothDwell.com pulled up here. We are going to dive straight to the IDX control panel. IDX is an integral part of your site. As you guys know, it feeds everything from your MLS that is available data-wise. Sometimes certain MLSs restrict what data is available, like open house data, for example. But for the most part, it's pretty one-to-one representation of what you can see on your MLS site. So the way that you get to your IDX control panel with its myriad of options is you click on your profile picture, and then you just click on IDX login. And then that's going to open it up automatically in a new tab. And here we have the IDX control panel. So as you can see, it's a little bit similar stylistically to the back end. You know, we got that EasyAgentPro logo up top with all the green and the good stuff. But yeah, this is where a great deal of settings can be changed for your IDX listings, your searches, all that good stuff. One of the biggest tools that we have, though, is the ability to create a market. Market is another word for a saved search. It can be a very powerful, very granular type thing that you can set up for folks. It can also be like super zoomed out. So I'm just going to walk you guys through how to set up a market. And then Chris is going to show you how you can actually implement those markets on your site. And then after that, we're going to talk about some settings. So to start a market, I'm going to go to the market section here. We're going to see that Eric has created a number of markets here already. So we've got a bunch of different like little villages and MLS areas. He also has one condos under 300K. Very cool. But yeah, let's just jump right to it. So to create a saved search, you just go to markets, click add a market. You are invited to name your search. So I'm going to just name this webinar test. And then you can select the type of MLS search you want to do. So there's three basic options here. So you have your basic MLS search, which is really just going to be basic areas and prices and that kind of thing. Not really that handy for creating a market, to be honest with you. Advanced MLS search, I think, is the preferred method because it lets you basically select any criteria that's available from within your MLS. So if your MLS has the ability to sort by pools or to sort by homes that are waterfront or 30 different types of waterfront homes, those will all be available. And finally, you can also add listings to a market manually. So say you wanted to write a blog post about 10 funky homes that had like a kind of like a weird architecture style or something like that, but they didn't really have anything else in common that you could actually create a search by. You could just do it manually and then just pop in all 10 numbers, and then you would have a saved search for those 10 listings. So let's go to the advanced MLS search here. So you're going to see that all of the various criteria come up here that you can search by. So we're going to see that we have MLS area, style, going to be the different types of homes. MLS areas is going to be the various MLS areas in your area. Region, again, another one. This is going to depend on your MLS. You may see more than this. You may see less. Most folks are going to see more, though. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and create it. Let's see what we got here. So let's do Bishop, and we'll see that 15 results come up. How many listings are in Lone Pine? Man, you're right by Yosemite, aren't you? Let's do, I think Mono City is a little bit bigger. Nope, not Mono City. Let's just do Bishop. Cool. So this is going to update live as we go through. So say, we wanted to do Bishop properties, but we wanted to max out at, I don't know, 300,000. Does that cut down the search at all? Okay, no results for current criteria. Okay, so this is a little bit of a limited IDX thing available. But for example, if you were in Houston or something like that, that had like many thousands of listings, you could hew this down to a very specific type of, of listing. So So yeah, so for example, you could do just open homes in a specific area, and then use that saved search to create an Instafarm page. That's just open homes in Bishop, for example. A lot of things that you can do with it. So let's go ahead and save this. And then we're going to go back out to markets. And then we're going to see that webinar test is going to be on that second page here. So a bunch of things you can do with this. If I click view page here, you're going to see that I'm brought to a unique URL. So mammothdwell.com/listing report/webinar test, which is the name of it. And then just a 6-digit identifier after that. And then we're going to see that we have just the listings that are available in Bishop here. So
he said Mammoth is his core market too. If it's really
okay, gotcha. Yeah. So yeah. So as you can see here, you know, this is just a page that's just those listings in Bishop. It's automatically generated for you. Oh, I see why we didn't get anything with a max of 300,000, because everything's more than 346. So, so yeah, so this is just an automatically generated page. You know, there's a lot more that you can do with these markets in terms of embedding them on an actual site. So I think I'm going to turn it over to Chris, and he's just going to walk us through how to embed a market on a page.
Thanks, bud.
Cool.
What you guys saw there was just the first step to adding listings or properties to a specified page on your website. What we do once the markets are created is we turn them into something called a short code. And I'm going to screen share here and show you exactly what that means. One of the major areas, especially for new people who've signed up with the sites, you do have a featured area section. This featured area section is going to have that, you know, those 10 areas that you really want to specialize in. You know them like the back of your hand. It's one of the best areas that you know very well, and you obviously want to add markets to it. The way that it works is we'd navigate to the app section of the website, and those featured property pages are actually Instafarm pages. And the app itself is really neat. We did do a class about Instafarm, I believe, last week. In the event that, say, he already has the village at Mammoth and stuff like that, but let's just say I want to do farm page. I've already created the market in the market section. Now I need to drag that market over to this page so that the listings appear. The way that that works is at the bottom of every farm page, right before you get to the SEO section, information and IDX shortcode box. And the general rule of thumb is anywhere that you shortcode button, that's where you're able to add listings or properties via shortcode. You can even add searches this way as well, which is really neat. In this case, we're just going to do a market. So I'm going to click that IDX box, and again, it's in the extra information and IDX shortcode section. It's going to load this pop-up, and once we get to this spot, it's automatically going to pick a listing gallery for you. And in the selection box, you want to use the listing report button. And if you notice, once we select listing report on the right-hand side, the market section pops up, and these are all of the things that we've created in our market section of the IDX control panel. So this is pulling the information from that market section and bringing it back over to your EasyAgentPro side. We're doing Mammoth. So I'm going to select Mammoth Green. By sorting, what I like to do, this is all personal preference, I like to actually sort it by listing date so that people are getting the newest properties on market. It updates as fast as the MLS board permits. So for some people, it may be 5 seconds. For others, it may be 5 hours or 5 days. It really varies on a board-by-board basis, but it's as quick as possible. I also do it by listing date because you're getting a good spread of price points on this page, you know, super high $1 million plus listings, or the polar opposite where you're getting, you know, $100,000 properties that really, you know, you want to find a good middle ground. And this is a great way to do that. So you're getting the best of both worlds and you're not missing out on any clientele. The results per page as well, I set it to 24. That's a nice quick load time for these properties to appear. And then I actually don't mess with the header at all. I just leave it as yes. And then I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to copy it to my clipboard. It'll let me know that I've copied it. I'm going to navigate up to the X button. And in this box that, again, is titled Extra Information and IDX Shortcode, I'm going to just paste that stuff that's on the clipboard. It's going to look like a jumbled mess, and that usually means that you're doing it right. If you notice, what this basically is telling you is that it's pulling the ID number of that market, and this is the ID number for the Mammoth Greens or whatever it was market number, so that's good, that matches. We're sorting it by the date that it's coming out. We're doing a result of 24 per page, and the map is also included here. And if I've done this right, if I would have viewed my preview of this page, that should appear for me. So let's just double check and make sure that I did it properly here. So yeah, when there is properties for sale in that area, this is a good test. It's working properly. These are all condos that he's decided that are under $300,000. Perfect. Prices are spread out because it's by listing date. So yeah, that's how you get the properties to appear on a farm page. The other places that you can find information, IDX shortcodes, is you want images or listings to appear on your homepage as well. And that's actually going to be found in a separate application. So again, we'll navigate to the apps. And then we're going to navigate to the homepage app. And it's located in the third section under site design. And if here, you're going to see in this, so once this loads up and I click the settings button, they updated this. So you can add different types. Very cool. Same thing, you see an IDX shortcode section. And sorry about the lag, folks, I do apologize. Again, if you wanted to add an IDX listing to your homepage, it's very simple. You find the IDX shortcode section, and then you do the exact same process that I showed you in the InstaFarm pages. You'll select your listing report, you'll choose the market that you want, adjust it by how you want it to view, copy it to your clipboard, and then just paste it right into the shortcode box. So anywhere that you see an IDX shortcode section, that's how you're going to add those listings. The other one that I wanted to show, in the event that Chris was talking about, you have the top 10 coolest looking properties in wherever, right? And you wanted to do a blog about it. You can also add properties to a blog page using the Gutenberg editor. And this one's a little harder to track down, but it's still a very useful tool for you to use.
Yeah, this is super cool, guys.
We have a class on Gutenberg as well. Gutenberg's a really great new blog editor. It's actually a WordPress native editor as well, so it's super simple to use. The nice thing about it is everything's done with a tile, basically. There's a little plus button here that allows you to pull up, or blocks rather, my apologies. This allows you to make your edit to the blog page. So if you wanted to start typing a paragraph, you'd obviously hit the paragraph tile and start typing up your information. When you're done with that information, you can add another block with an image. So I'm going to add an image. But more importantly, we want the good stuff. We want to show listings, right? So I'm going to add a block. Yep, so layout elements is the one you want. This is going to be able to pull other blog posts. It's going to pull your CMA report, all that fun stuff. But the one that we're looking for, so it's under formatting, and there's a code button. And the same idea, you copy and paste, in this case, should pop up. So you're looking for the shortcode widget. I'm going to click Add Listings, similarly to how we were doing it in the InstaFarm or on your homepage. It'll load up. And then you can go ahead and select your listings that you want on the blog post. And then we just paste. And now we've got, a blog post that has all the area, a couple nice images, top 10 listings that are for sale now that are the best looking, or whatever you want to do. Shortcode to blogs and pages. It's the exact same editor and the same process. So, add a block, search for, and you'll be able to add that shortcode into the blog post, which is really, really neat.
Awesome.
Yeah, the last thing that I want to go over, and I'll probably hand it off to Chris. He's doing a much better job at presenting than I am today. We do have a widget or app for you to set specifics, how aggressive you want them and things like that. So I'm going to pass it off to Chris again.
Let's just talk about some settings that you can do for your IDX. There's where we're actually going to talk about that. It's not your IDX control panel, but within the actual IDX app itself. So if we go here over to, oops, wrong one. It's actually going to be in the apps section. So we're going to go to apps. And then we're going to open up the IDX app. And then here, we're going to be able to adjust a lot of settings within IDX. So you guys might be wondering, like how IDX works in a, like kind of in a active way for you. You can enable lead capture on your site that is specifically tied to IDX listings. So it looks like on mammothDwell.com, we don't have that on right now. That's completely cool too. However, you can also turn on that high conversion lead capture. What we mean by high conversion is that it is a very interactive and pretty sticky system that we've set up, where if it's activated and say you have soft on, it means that if somebody runs an IDX search on your site, they will be presented with a pop-up that says, hey, sign up for an account here, to save these listings, save favorites, and more. That means that folks will, very similar to Zillow, how you can like click the little heart icon, you can save searches, all that good stuff. It is very, very easy, for you to have folks create accounts on your site. What's really, really cool about this is that if somebody does create an account on your site, you're able to see everything they do, even stuff that they don't actually click on. So, say I opted in, I created an account, I favorited a listing, and I saved a search. But I get that saved search every day, and I follow those emails back to your site, but I just browse, for like 10 minutes while the coffee's brewing or something like that. You get to see all that information as the agent. So that is all lead capture that you are privy to, even though I might not be favoriting something, I might not be clicking on a contact form or anything like that. So it is I think it's a great idea to have it on at least. I see that we have it off here on mammothDwell.com, but you could still activate it, but then leave it off so that folks can still make an account if they want to. So definitely something to explore for you guys that, promote listings on Facebook, or if you're, running Instafarm, or I'm sorry, if you're running ads to your Instafarm pages, or, to your search pages or anything along those lines. And the way that lead capture form can also be, customized as well. So say I was invited to create an account, you can control exactly what is asked for. So, you can have someone log in with Facebook. You can have someone log in with just their email. You can have someone log in with Facebook or Google. So it's really it's an extremely simple way, to kind of manipulate that. So you can change the text that is available on all these pages. And then a number of other settings here as well. So definitely recommend checking these out. Infinity scroll is exactly what it sounds like on a listings page. Instead of there being like a pagination at the bottom that might say page 1 of 17, they just get new listings loaded automatically. Similar listings and similar listing sorting is also a cool thing. It means if I search for a home in Mammoth, that's $380,000 is my price ceiling. If I view a listing like that, I will also be presented with 3 other options at the bottom of that listing page that has listings that are similar to it. So similar area, similar price range. So it's a very, very cool way just to kind of introduce more functionality into the site. In addition to those settings, you can also play with the look and the feel of the IDX page. So this is how actual individual listings pages look. You can have one with a kind of big upfront contact form. That's the one that's active right now. There's a couple other templates available as well. And then as well as all of these other items too. So definitely recommend, clicking into there, checking out the IDX app, and, seeing the various settings, that you can control with that. So Richard asks, once they set up an account, will it be retained by the system so they don't have to re-enter every time they go to the site? Yes, exactly. So if this person has cookies enabled, and most folks do, then they won't have to log in every time they go back. So their browser should store that cookie and then recognize that they are visiting the same site again, and they'll be logged in automatically. If somebody has like incognito mode on, or clears their cookies out regularly, they will have to log in again and again, but that's usually not an issue at all. That is a very good question, Richard. Thank you. Awesome. And then finally, this is kind of like an advanced feature right here for SEO settings. But what we see here is that you can actually manipulate the metadata for each of these pages. So, for property details, you can, manipulate the actual, what the permalink looks like. You can see here that for the meta description, you can change these things, and you can do this for like your search pages, your featured properties, all that good stuff. This is kind of an advanced thing, so I definitely wouldn't recommend popping in there unless you're really hip to SEO optimization and it's something that you want to dive into. So so the IDX app has a ton of settings available, and definitely something that I recommend checking out and kind of diving into. In addition to those IDX settings, you're going to find a bunch in your backend here. So, for example, if I go to setup, we're going to see some settings for our control panel. You can do a number of things. So if we go to, say, you're in an area like some part of Texas that has like, 200 municipalities or something like that. You can go into this section, setup, and then location customization. And you can actually elect to include or disclude certain things here. So, if you don't want these custom locations, you can remove those. You can turn on a custom city list so that it will only populate results from a certain area. Of course, that's more handy if like you only want to sell in a very specific area. Definitely a handy thing to do. If you have lead capture set up in your IDX app, you're going to see that there's also lead capture sections here. That's a little superfluous in that case. Those aren't going to be, those aren't going to impact anything if you have lead capture turned on in your actual EasyAgentPro site. And then finally, for listing settings, you can configure a number of things. You could hide sold search results. You can, for active results, you can say what you want the default to be. But by default, it's going to be high to low. You can always change that. You can always show your own listings first in search results, and that's going to be on by default. So if you have any listings in a specific area, say, Richard, you had listings in Mammoth. If I just ran a search for Mammoth, your listing would be at the front of that search no matter what. So there is a lot that you can kind of dive into with these. You can, show your mortgage calculator link on property pages. These are all things that can be turned on and off depending on, exactly how granular you want to get with, how IDX appears and functions on your site. Jerry asks, does updated information on them help? Yeah, for sure. So that's a really good question.
Yeah, to that note, Jerry, Dustin Brome's a great example on like his Salt Lake City real estate page or farm page. He has a lot of data that's pulled from census, census information and government information like that. And that's the type of stuff that you definitely do want to update. Average home costs for the year, unemployment rate, how safe the town is, things like that. That's the stuff that you do want to update. For the most part, though, that 600 words of content that we're asking you to add to those farm pages, that stuff can stay pretty solid and age like a fine wine. You don't need to be updating that stuff. But yeah, any type of data that you have should be updated and relevant to the year.
Yeah. So this is not totally on the out of like what we're talking about, but like this is when we're talking about embedding IDX on an Instafarm page. Like this is just a real bomb ass Instafarm page we got here. What we got here is searchsaltlake.com. This is Dustin Brome. He's had this page for a long time now. So what we see is just a ton of links, a ton of good information. He's got the listings down here at the bottom of the page. So this is just all Salt Lake. Obviously, he's just doing high to low. It's almost like the listings are secondary to the actual content on the page itself. So this is, kind of like what you want to kind of shoot to do with an InstaFarm page. Dustin ranks really, really well for Salt Lake City homes for sale. He's also been with us, for the better part of 3 years now too. So it's always a great idea to, add content to these pages in addition to the actual IDX listings themselves.
Good question, Jerry. Also, just to let you guys know as well, till December 1st, if you don't want to do all of your InstaFarm pages or don't have the time and energy to do 10 of them, we have a deal going on where in our upgrade package, we do have an InstaFarm Pro package where we take care of that. We give you a call, we interview you, we see what areas you want to highlight and what specific information you want on there, and then we take care of the rest. It's normally $9.99, but we're taking $100 off. So it's $8.99 for you guys if you did want to do that.
So yeah, that's definitely a great option if you guys just kind of want to pump some info into your InstaFarm pages, kind of get a head start on that kind of thing. So cool. All right. Thank you so much, guys.